So let's talk about the ingredient of our module LEA4123, which is Fundamentals of Law Enforcement. So in front of you, you can see that this is the slide. This slide contains every single chapters that I'm going to focus on for this module, okay, which is the Fundamental of Law Enforcement. So for the fundamental part, it is very important to understand the history background of our law enforcement system, and it started with the law enforcement system throughout the world. Okay, and I would say that it started somewhere in Europe, and I always emphasize on Anglo-Saxon as one of the important contributor for every single law enforcement system that we have today. Okay, so under part 1 or chapter 1, you're going to learn the historical part of law enforcement from the ancient time to present, and then we have to understand the concept of law enforcement itself, and then learn the principle under law enforcement and understand the correlation between law enforcement and policing. Because when it comes to law enforcement, some country they'll straightforward put policing as their main priority. Okay, and I would say Malaysia is the same, has the same approach, whereby policing is the most important or the ultimate focus when it comes to law enforcement system or law enforcement matter. Okay, so next slide. So chapter 1, we're going to focus on the historical part of law enforcement and the development ever since 6th century. Okay, I have reminded you guys that the word BC, which is before Christ. Okay, that means it is the years before the born of the Christ. Okay, the Christ. Okay, or call it Nabi Isa or the Prophet Isa alaihi salam. Sorry. Okay, so this is when the foundation or the beginning of the law enforcement system happened. Okay, and you need to understand via timeline. Okay, because it is very important to understand step by step, and year is very important, I'll say, because you need to know the timeline of each each event happen. Okay, for example, when we talk about Anglo-Saxon. Okay, so the historical part back then, Anglo-Saxon is actually a Germanic blood tribe, and then it is mixed with the UK, and I have shown you guys the maps, the world maps, whereby you can see that the UK and German is very near to each other. That's why there is a correlation between both of this I would say this country and this this tribe. Okay, so we're gonna see the establishment of basic law enforcement system, and then the fundamentals of law enforcement system, the sources of law enforcement system, whereby we're going to see from the very beginning, which is the Anglo-Saxon, and you can see that there are few types of law enforcement, or I would say that law enforcement system that they have used, such as who and cry system, and then they have trial by ordeals, which is very ancient and very long kind of and old kind of types of law enforcement system, and then the boss system, and then they have the 100-man and develop into other related era, whereby I'm going to focus on the 6th century along the way, and we have 11th century, whereby the change has been happened somewhere in UK, the United Kingdom, and the English, and then we have we're gonna see how Malacca has developed such law enforcement system during Sultan Malacca, and then we have that was during 14th century, and then we have 18th century back then, whereby that was when the modern policing system has been introduced by Sir Robert Peel, and that's going to be our focus as well. And then the development continuously done by UK and I'll say US, okay, during 18th century, 19th century, and the introductions of Charter of Justice to our nation, which is Tanah Melayu at the moment, by British, and then we have developed such a system of law enforcement until now. Okay, whereby policing and police is the main character. Okay.